about Centaur War Runner.
Because we were just talking about how they might be running in with some nicks, like or I just mentioned.
Lane. So what they can do is actually they can tri-lane middle.
They're gonna use all their circle here on that. I don't necessarily think Antimation George. Anyways, how much?
Oh, is it bad?
I like it.
That's a that he fulfills. He's in tower.
And sustained at the moment, coming into game 3, already 2 games up against Newbee. But a lot of it takes a lot of farm to get online. Like, how long do you take before you get the Rod of Atos? How long until you get the mech on the Darkseer? How long until Juggernaut has to sustain as well as healing ward? I'll take the question, how long will this take? And then you're up against a team that can add pressure with plague words all the time. They have engage and disengage through the Centaur Stampede, Mass Serpent Wards, Exorcism, all these abilities to start lacquering on top for Newbee. Can they force the issue before Liquid is ready?
I think so. If the lanes go well for Newbee in this game, they have the tools to very quickly snowball this game out of control. Getting the Roshan, getting towers, plenty of ways of doing it. I think for Liquid it's very crucial that they get to use the Ion Shell on Juggernaut at the earlier stages of the game for fights, because apart from that, they don't have that much they're bringing to the table. They have the Lich and Shaker, who are both in each their ways fairly slow build-up supports. Lich wins a lane, but still takes some time. Shaker as a roamer is pretty lackluster with specific heroes. I don't think he has that great synergy with a Darkseer that's like okay. The the Necrophos mid he can't necessarily kill with, and then the Juggernaut is possible, but difficult, right? So I'm looking for Liquid's lineup to struggle to find kills early, and if Newbee can capitalize on that, finding their own and this time push and not face an Alchemist late in the draft, this time they can actually convert it into a win. I think this is Newbee's best draft of the finals. If they can't win this game, then Liquid's just hands down the better team today, like by quite a lot.
They do have the advantage in the laning phase of Vision by supporting it to get that early game you're talking about, avoiding the kills, the rotations of GH being effective. The two Observer Wards from Newbee focus on that hillside to the south of the bottom rune, and the other one smack bang in the middle lane. So Vision is covering the south as well as the mid. Earthshaker, he wants to rotate towards top lane and try and kill off the Centaur. Warrunner, good luck, it's going to take you some time to do it. So they're feeling very secure in that lane. In fact, they're even going to run a double lane. Karka as well as KP are together, so they have a double stun lineup, which should be very, very effective against Miracle. They just have to keep Miracle away from the lanes, and Karka already doing it. Burrow Strike, Half Stomp, they're dropping the Juggernaut down to 1/3 of his life. If Karka can get this body block up as well, Miracle trying to create a little bit of space. Newbee, Miracle has to be forced into the spin. You got a secondary Burrow Strike. They can go under the tower, but they won't do it. Healing Sound plus Tango being burnt by Miracle. They'll stay safe under the tier 1.
Good initial pressure from Newbee on this lane.
Oh, wait, there you go.
Trying to connect up.
The fissure was raised, but not thrown.
There's no kill potential in this mid lane. SCC can't die to these two heroes. There is absolutely no way unless he completely screws up somehow. So GH is just trying to do whatever little he can to just pressure SC and force him to use some regen. That fissure did pretty much nothing. And SC is having a good time here, forcing Matomoman under his tower with this double wave. And now GH is like, okay, not really happening in mid. I'm going to move toward top.
Karka.
Maybe there's an opportunity here. Good fissure.
With the frostbite and the last attack from Kuro, flying over the rock wall. First blood spilled. Very, very aggressive.
This is what I'm praising GH for so much. It's that game sense, you know, like he goes mid, just shows himself. Newbee are like, okay, Shaker's mid. He vanishes from mid, immediately goes for this play that is, the way I see it, his only kill on the map is this exact hero with this exact ally. It's very specific subset of things that need to happen, and Liquid set it up beautifully and get themselves first blood on the Lich. So Kuro getting some fast boots out.
I'll take your
Plenty of money to take care of courier duty as well.
for the dead.
Has the arcane rune, might as well. A little bit annoying with that.
He actually holds the creep.
Bounty runes.
He holds the creep way back far enough that Matomoman doesn't even have it coming. Okay, now it'll come into the tower, but there's a double wave for Death Prophet to try and farm up, which is a nice injection of CS and experience into him, unless GH wants to do something about it. But the Observer Ward from Newbee does scout it out, so even if this vision does fly, you can see SCCC understands just how tanky he is, and just how much of a hard time Newbee will have to, Liquid will have to kill him.
Yes.
GH at the same time, recognizing that the bounty runes cannot have been picked up because all of Newbee's heroes have been showing, so he goes and takes the enemy bounty rune first. Now he can still go back toward his own. He has a full minute to do that. It's just going to fissure off Faith and be really annoying. Mind Control actually coming in here with a level 2 Iron Shell. Faith, there is a crevice to get through.
He just needs a little bit more movement
He's
speed.
going to be fine.
330 versus the 295. Good for a Shaman to have those early boots to keep the run going. Still want to keep my eyes pretty closely on mid. I know it's mainly because we've had the Earthshaker rotating around, but this is the time when Karka finally moves off the top lane. It is daytime, which makes it difficult for him to close the distance. There is no dire Observer Ward watching this mid lane. The GH is back. Faith is here as well. Everyone's prepping, apart from Karka, who's just having a one-on-one battle with Kuro. But GH has to be careful where he is. Faith comes up, the Observer Ward is there. Knows what he's up against, and everyone's just going to run away. But this is a lot better start for Newbee when you look over it like, yeah, okay, you gave away first blood, but Mugi's getting really good farm, SCCC's getting really good farm in the mid lane, KP's finding experience on the off lane, so that Stampede arriving at an earlier time is great for Newbee to disengage from Team Liquid's aggression.
He's getting good CS as well on the Centaur. I think this hero can hold flat a lot of the time. I think it's really weak without any items. I think there's a lot of other abilities in the patch that deal better with being put under pressure, but Centaur really needs like that Blink Dagger to start having an impact. And then compare it over to the Darkseer, where sure, if you don't have the mech, maybe it's not the best hero, but you can at least utilize your team with that Ion Shell. All Centaur really offers is the Stampede. It's nice, but it's an ultimate, so you know, then you're kind of a walking ulti at that point almost. It's a bit hard to get as much out of your hero. So it's very good news for Newbee that all three of their cores are getting good farm.
Kuro's trying to get that aggressive Observer and Sentry Ward down behind KP. Either that, they run in towards the mid. Fade, they have a reveal like Kuro and GH, both Frost Blast and the Fissure being committed. Negligible damage as Matupperman wants to go underneath the tower. Kuro does put the Observer Ward down. A quick ping came out from Shaman saying that he's around here.
He's trying to see if he can get eyes on Kuro and see that he used the ward, but he might just assume that was the case. See, there's no
He'll get vision now. He's walking underneath an Observer Ward. So yeah, they're pinging, and they pinged exactly the spot of that Observer Ward.
Essentially, it is a guess. Kuro could have also put it on the cliff to the left, but it seems like Newbee guessed right. See when they get a sentry out of this ward. That ward is very good.
Probably one of the reasons too why they scan, like they scan on top of the camps, just to the north at that point. So trying to work out if he ran over the top of the ancients or not.
Fairly quiet.
They got Faith up here as well. They're looking at Miracle. Now, they actually, they don't have the Hex. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Kuro, the Shackles available. Okay, now that Hex is up. Level 3, he was holding onto it. KT with a double edge. The Faith that takes the kill. So a good movement up from Newbee. They're going to support at exactly the same point they lost their support. Newbee's having the greatest time in the world on bottom. 21 denies and 33 last hits.
This is still a good Darkseer lane though. Mind control on this hero has had a really high impact in a lot of situations in a lot of games, and it fits very well into Liquid's playstyle of just being able to shove out lanes to get information. So the fact that Darkseer is getting this many levels in farm is, you know, it's still a farm Venom for sure. But
top lane, getting this Miracle. Where that follow up, have they got the stun lane too, so there's no spin available for Spoon Siphon. Miracle just has to take the physical damage, but you cannot do. Great movement up from SCCC, and they can bring that exorcism to bear on the tier 1 tower on the top.
Definitely going to go for that here. Now that he made the whole rotation up there.
Ow.
Oogie.
Even trying to surge GH away from that fight. The Observer Ward from Newbee, seeing Kuro moving to the top. Kaka and KP, they've already set the trap, starting off with a double edge, but no, he attacks first on the Frost Armor, slowing up Kaka. He doesn't have the mana anyway, so he cannot get the Burrow Strike off, but is allowing SCCC to attack into the tower. But that's the more important thing, the creep skipping. But the TP arriving back, a Miracle back into the lane, stopping the tower from falling at least. There's KB, yeah, he cuts through the trees. Bowling Blade, he doesn't have Hoof Stop, they're so short of mana. At least they got the Burrow Strike back on Kaka, but no more creep wave under the tower, really.
They got a lot of damage into that tower. Liquid who defended, but lost 1,000 health, and the trade-off is, I guess Matumba did some decent chip damage in mid, but Faith is getting good levels, and you look at this Newbee lineup and you feel like, okay, when they have all of these ultimates available, they have their key items, they will just start almost like death with their heroes. They just really want to group up this hive and take objectives. The question is if Liquid will have the tools to deal with it in time. And pretty sure we're going to see the first Roshan from Newbee pretty early in the game, and if Liquid want to get it, they have to steal it. They can't take it themselves. It's very unrealistic with their lineup. GH is
really close to Faith. Fresh Observer Ward down. He's got his own Observer Ward down as well, so Faith will hex him quickly. Shackles not available. In fact, he used the Ether Shock. So the mana isn't available. In fact, now with moves moving over, they have enough to slow through the Plague Ward. Gale going to connect on his target, SCCC. The Plague Ward up on the hill realized no one else is there from Team Liquid. But while that's going on, top lane, the spin from Miracle. He has the Omnislash available, but the Burrow Strike from Kaka holding Miracle in position. He'll go into the tree, taking a lot of damage from the tower. Has to have the Healing Ward to give him life. Kaka, Burrow Strike in 2 seconds time. He can go once more, but the Healing Ward's causing problems. But maybe not enough. He has the damage. Does he? The Healing Ward protection's available with the spin of Miracle. He'll live and sound back up once more.
If KP had 100% faith in that perfect
Dire's bottom
I think
tower
they
is
could
under attack.
Pretty sure he had double edge ready.
Dire's
again,
bottom
so
tower is fallen.
Newbee, a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but still good for them to survive at the very least and get their Centaur out of trouble. And the lanes.
Where did Radiant's middle
continuing with
tower
the
go?
pressure. Venomancer takes the bottom tier 1, top tier 1. The next on the menu for him.
Right spin, dodging that hook stop from KP Kaka. He doesn't have the mana for a Burrow Strike, and there was nothing he could do while Miracle was immune. But Matumba can do something else. He's ready to wrap around the back. The creep wave's coming under the tower.
The classic Necropulse dive.
Yeah, Reaper Side's available. What are you going to do, Matumba? You want to do damage to him? I suppose you can hide invisible. That's a great way to dodge it.
Works pretty well. can still hit Death Pulse, but it would need to lose like 4 or 5 of them to kill off Kaka, and Kaka's just gonna back off, get clarity.
Boogie
Get ready
switching
to
lane
fight.
now.
Radiant's top
Feeling the
tower
pressure
is
coming
under
on the top
attack.
lane. They'll fortify up.
Radiant
Faith moving
structures
up
are
as well, so
fortified.
Team Liquid, they were hoping for a free tier 1 tower on this top lane. It ain't gonna happen. Boogie's got his combination ready. And there's a lot of farm. In fact, the fact that Creep Wave is hitting that bottom tier 1 tower is warning bells for Team Liquid to back off the top lane.
I think we're gonna look to smoke
I'll
here
take
with
what you
Newbee. They're grouped up as 3 with
Kind
Poison Nova available as well for Newbee. Could try to look for a kill in this top area into that tier 1 tower. If they kill the Juggernaut here, for example,
Not
that
much
tower is
good's
theirs.
happening to
They
Radiant's bottom tower.
Meantime, though, it's slow here. This will be a stun coming from Sam.
Miracle has Omni Slash available, but he knows he doesn't want to do it when Sandstorm's available. That's not the way for him to find a kill.
Kaka just wants to push the wave out and get a board out. He's sitting on the board. So there's the Stampede though, and that will be the kill.
The shackles hold him there. That's a huge kill. Miracle to fall with Boogie already up. The tier 1 tower in the top lane stays numbered.
I love plays like this where you can tell Newbee have already set up and coordinated and are ready for
Kaka. They can set up on this one. Kaka Burst Strike. He cannot survive, but Tubberman still having the range with the aura. Level 3 in it. They kill off Kaka, but he doesn't get scythed to death at least. But a lot of pressure on top lane.
defending their tower actually with this. They do have mass serpent wards. I think if they flop those down together with the plague wards, they will be getting this tower, but
Faith's backing off. They're
Faith
switch-
wants to go mid instead.
Yeah, they're switching their attack to work with SCCC, who's got the exorcism available.
This might be a good idea. I mean, the top tower is pretty low, right? So it's a big ultimate commitment for such a low tower. This way, they make sure they have a 2-lane siege.
They're going to get a Burrow Strike around the back if possible. DH is looking to defend. But Kaka, there's your Massive, wants Vision to go out. Burrow Strike going to connect on that mid lane. Exorcism is out too.
There's no
DH
fortified
not alive, doesn't want to come
structures.
close, but it's Necrophos who's shackled up, taking a lot of damage. Drawn that Exorcism Faith. No, he's going to die. No, the catapult.
Dyer's middle
Bouncing off
tower
the
is
chain
under
cross the
attack.
Darkseer back wall. You got to make a little bit more problems. Fissure is out, so Kaka being broken out of his Sandstorm, out of the Invis. SCCC wants to bring the damage in close with
Dyer's
3
top
heroes
tower
already
is
rotated
falling.
over from Team Liquid. It just
looks like
ain't gonna
Dire
happen.
fortified their
The only thing which is happening to Newbee is that top tier 1 tower being claimed by Moogie.
Mid tower will be
Dire
denied.
just
So they got all
denied their
3 tier
middle
1s
tower.
at 12 minutes. It's a very good timing, but not really too much of a gold lead to show for it. They've lost a couple of heroes. I think Kaka's dive there on the Shaker, very optimistic. Like, there's no real follow-up to it, so they couldn't really turn that Sanking stun into anything, and he ends up dying in the end together with the Shaman. Liquid are just playing the small advantages that they do have in the moments to keep it a pretty even game. So they have a couple of towers to claim, which means Liquid are ahead on raw farm. There's more gold on the map for them as towers. We'll see if they want to make a move of their own.
Well, they're coming to bottom lane, but KP's already out. TP very quickly away.
Yeah, the tower's cool.
Yeah, but if they pressure bottom lane, Moogie's already up on top to continue the pressure. You have Stampede available,
Radiant's
so it
bottom
kind of gives
tower is under
Newbee the
attack.
confidence to go a little bit deeper than they normally would. And the fact they're doing that means they can potentially catch out GH. GH, the man who's found blink
Radiant's
daggers at
bottom
insane
tower's
rates,
got
now
problems.
just has to run away. Sand King
Radiant's
has that
bottom
level 3
tower has
Burrow Strike.
fallen.
He does not have the range on GH just yet, but when GH holds behind the tower, the Observer Ward, it doesn't see him. He's in a small crevice. Now he comes out. Faith will see him. And well, no, they're not going to use it just yet. Necrophos starting his TP in. So Faith will just drag the wave down.
Actually, I thought Kaka had eyes on him earlier and they were going to stampede for it, but I guess he was just outside of the range of Sanking. So, no kill, and Liquid defend. So, buying more time for their lineup. They just need space and time to farm to get these towers. Juggernaut is doing a pretty good job here. Miracle finding some good farm. The Darkseer has been relatively quiet, but it will now be completing the mech soon.
Dyer's middle tower isn't going to last long.
900 away, but he can farm it pretty quickly with this Ion Shell help. Mind control.
As long as he times the last hits, right?
Letting Mind Control get some
He'll take that. He'll take the last 2. But this is still a good position for Newbee too. Like we've been looking for something that gets them back into this series, and having real superb team fight from Newbee, which is an essential thing against Liquid sustain. That's what it's all about. That's going to give us our clash. That's going to give us our clash when we're really searching for.
Newbee need to get a rogue, I think. Get some wards out here, start putting that pressure. They have the Mass Serpent, which they have the Exorcism. It's a lot of ulti commitments, but it would be a good move. Instead, they're going to turn it into a rotation toward top into tier 2. That's also a great high-end ring play if they can pull it off.
They can kill Matumberman. He's the man looking to build a Radiance. Space is going to get close up to the line. They see everything stampeding forward. Exodus is down. There's a lot of damage. KP is taken. But they'll still get the kill onto Matumberman. SCC once more. Koro TP'd into try to hellbound. But now he's trapped. Karka. No fire strike for another 2 seconds. But the Exodus will do so. And Koro, Karka even commits it to ensure it.
Radiant's middle
So
tower
that's 2
shouldn't have to
kills
take
up
this
on the top
abuse.
lane and now
Are
pressures
those
the tier 2
cracks
tower.
in Dire's top tower?
Looks like Liquid don't want to give up the tower though. They're going to send in Shaker and Dark Siege trying to lay this push.
Master wants it down. Liquid might think twice about it. At least Mind Control gives the buckler
Radiant's
effect for
middle
Karka.
tower is
Fire
under
Strike
attack.
is looking at Mind Control, but knowing that GH has the vision behind the lines is not what they want to go into. So they'll let the Mass Serpent Wars die, or maybe not. Miracle's coming in from the south. Fire Strike up. Karka actually dodging the back, but he cannot dodge the spin of Miracle. He's also Iron Shell bumped up. Double TP's out. SCCC. His TP's coming off cooldown in a second. He had to move one of his talismans out of his backpack, and now starts to but GH echoing plans him down. The silence it needed to connect on the Earthshaker.
He tried to get the silence on both of them, both the Jugger and Shaker, but GH was just out of range.
Difficult to do when you don't have that vision.
I think if he committed for a silence on Shaker, he might have lived. I'm not sure if Juggernaut had enough damage with Iron Shell and level 1 Omni Slash to actually kill the DP out of the TP there. But good kills for Liquid. They defend their tower. And they played these small advantages. They had 2 dead heroes, and they still defended their tower and found exit kills. Just using that Ion Shell and the rotating Juggernaut very well.
I'm still interested that like when Newbee had that big
Radiant's
swing,
top tower
it's a
deserves
fine
just as
exit
much
kills.
help as
Newbee
Bond
Liquid
against
are coming
Radiant
in
fortified
force,
their
I think,
structures.
because you haven't felt the effect of the Venomancer yet. Newbee continues to farm up, and he only really comes through in the fights when this tier 1 tower on the top lane is being threatened. And that's what they're doing. Surfboards on the hillside, Space, gonna move it close enough, they'll get the connected. All shackles, the vision, lines from TA, forced on Stampy, KP, press TA Space, but Jolly won't continue his bounce, however, but KP's on the wrong side of the track, on the slide, they have enough damage to get through Karka, the Miracle, trapped under the towers, KP still alive, he ran all the way up to the north, even has his blinker bubble, and steals the bounty rune from Team Liquid. It's a call for a support, the top tower, it does fall in favor of Matumberman, who committed in. SCC's Spirit Siphon, not enough to dissuade him from the attempt.
Liquid were looking for a vacuum into Fissure combo there, and they got it off decently, but not fully. And the Stampede allowed them to disengage and get out. That looked really scary for Newbee. If they don't have Stampede there, that was like 3 or 4 heroes, so a really key ability for them to have against this Liquid lineup. And it's very clear there, you can see what the idea behind the Centaur pick was.
Shaker has his Blink Dagger.
Yep.
They've got that initiation now onto GH.
If he had it in
37.
that fight, that would have been a stomp for Liquid. So
Yep.
Newbee can't afford to get vacuumed like that again. If they get 2 or 3 hero back into Shaker Echo, fast.
Yep.
Be really careful.
That's when they're going to need maneuverability from both Stampede, the space creation from Centaur. The fact that Venomancer will soon have his full Hurricane Pike. You need a Yule Scepter for SCCC to stay alive, and that is coming out the courier. In fact, both of those items are arriving on the courier. Maneuverability getting better. Interesting, the Faith is actually not helping him out with maneuverability. He's going straight to push button. He's going to the negative center rush on the Shaman after having just the Arcane boost.
Kind of shows what the game plan is, right? You want the Shaman to hit a timing when they can just go and try and hit the game. A lot of the times these Shamans go for Step, Flamer, or Blink. And all 3 items have their value in this game.
That's nice for a double damage room, but the bad thing is the Echo Sand catching up at CTC. They're already using that Hurricane Pike to get him free. Down 2. They find the kill of the Earthshaker. Now Newbee, what a roll for the momentum into Mind Control, who stays his ground, taking it for the team. Exorcism has been burnt, and there is a creep wave here to work with. But what Newbee want is something bigger. They want Roshan.
This is their good timing for this. 10 seconds on Shaker, 30 on the Darkseer. Don't think Liquid are in any position to contest this. This was the big moment we were waiting for Newbee, where they find the key kills close to the objective. Getting the full value out of Exorcism here. He's going to heal up to full here. SCC did so much damage with the ghosts that he's ready to go somewhere else. Roche will fall, and they'll probably give the Aegis 2.
Radiant took down Roshan.
It's on Boogie.
I trust
GH
there
has
was
to
a
be
good
really
reason.
sad. That was the first reveal of his Blink Dagger, and it didn't really come with the big impact they wanted. Miracle has still been able to find a lot of farm in the meantime, rapidly approaching his Commander style. But he's still behind in the net worth, only by 600. And that's to the Venomancer. Hurricane Pike, Aegis Immortal. What else? He hasn't have anything else coming out at the moment. He's just got those critical items.
The pike made that fight, by the way. The force staff or the pike usage immediately on the Death Prophet got him into a very good position where Newbee has to engage. Not sure, Liquid were probably not accounting for that play when GH jumped in. It's just like, okay, if we catch anyone, they don't have any save in their lineup. They have Stampede, which they can't use when they're stunned, but, you know, that little bit of force staff usage there really turned the tide for Newbee. Big fight. Gonna be looking for more of that from them. Still a very close game.
Yeah, that's actually the real first advantage that Newbee have got. They're just the fight straight out. So they go up in the gold, they go up in the experience, but you're still hovering around that 2K just above and below for experience and gold advantage in favor of Newbee. That's not really enough to say you have a victory over Team Liquid. In fact, even if you had 20K, you don't think you had a victory over Team Liquid.
If you're 20K ahead.
That would be pretty good.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team come back from that. Well, you know, they're just 18K off, so if they get it in the next 30 seconds, right? Looking forward to that play out of Newbee.
Thanks for your analysis, Minrin. You're a dear. Shaker ready to fight on bottom lane already. Newbee are feeling someone is down here. They're scanning inside their own jungle, waiting for the Liquid attack. This is where Moogie needs to get those Plague Wars down, get really good vision, which Liquid already have. That Observe Ward just to the south side of the tree line. They see the defense that Newbee have in position, even with this nighttime cycle.
This is actually something we didn't talk about at all about Liquid's lineup. I think this is the first lineup from Liquid we've seen today in all of their games where they don't have a single vision hero. And that is, to me, this is more about vision than any other hero. Oh, my top lane.
Slam Kaka.
That's what happens if you don't have vision. And you
That's your own damn fault.
Meanwhile, on bottom,
Matumbo?
got a little bit of a book reading club bottom of the map.
I'm sorry, book reading club, they're going to be down here in a while. Maybe you can cut down the trees, make some paper, and write something interesting.
These two heroes, probably, they look like they spent a lot of years reading.
Well, Lich does come with his own book.
Yep.
Oh, look over my shoulder and read Matumbo.
Do you guys get out? They're both the TPs, they're just standing there.
They're scanning, they don't see anything. Like, they have their Observer Ward near the tower, but they don't know where Venomancer and Shadow Shaman have left to. Like, if they wanted to, they could drop Mass Serpent Wards at the tier 2 tower bottom.
They want to cut the wave. I thought they were just going to TP out, but saving the TP scrolls so they have the ability to move around the map, and we'll just, I think they'll feel safe now to walk up. Take care of business here, get those creeps killed. Almost has the Radiance. It's a big item in this game for the Necrophos. Just ramping up that farm, synergy with the Veil.
You know, the more and more I'm looking at this game, the more and more issues I see Team Liquid taking high ground. Like, if you look at the build coming in from Moogie, going to go into the Maelstrom. That is a lot of bonus damage, a lot of push. Moogie actually stopped attacking for half a second. Mostly see that will reach him.
They should drop the Serpent Force here, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you're going to have ward
Dyer's
on
middle
ward
tower
action,
isn't
and
going
then
to
you
last
have
long.
even more push coming in from the Maelstrom. I don't know if Liquid can really knock down that wall fast enough. And even if they do get advanced in the game, how do you then push against the Newbee when they have a pre-prepared position?
It's difficult. It is really difficult for the heroes to take a fight.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
So they're just going to go from one tower into the next. This Age is the immortal on
Radiant's top
Venomancer.
tower
He could just
deserves
cross straight
just
down
as
to
much
the
help
bottom.
as
See, that's
Dyer's
our
middle
just try
tower
to go for
just
high ground.
went down.
Yeah, put down a Plague Ward, at least see what's there.
They have Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet.
Radiant's top tower deserves better.
Plague Wars don't see the recon, they only see the top, but they don't see Kura Mind controlling GH. The Death Prophet, and the Euros have taken a lot of damage, but the Mass Serpent Ward's also down. But some of them taking the damage in order to get rid of a couple of them. So Moogie, there's more wars where they came from. That mid tower dropping quickly. 600, 500 fortification used by Team Liquid, trying to hold them out. Mind Control trying to wrap around through the north, hoping to get into the back lines of Newbee. But that wonderful back combination doesn't happen. In fact, Surgeons get back inside the base and keep the defense going. The tier 3 tower at 283, but it looks like enough. Newbee are happy with the chip damage. They will now disengage.
They can wait another minute and have Exorcism again, but then they won't have their Aegis anymore. So, see what Nubee's play call is. I think it's a difficult one to make without the Aegis the second time. This time that was not too difficult for them to realize that that was definitely favoring them.
It's the items you're looking for. So Aegis times out. The pipe is actually flying out the courier right now to KP. So they'll have that extra control. The Rod of Atos has also arrived for SDCC. They've got a lot of immunity on him. Will Scepter, Wood of Defiance, and now Rod of Atos. That's 1640 worth of HP. But somehow they need to find the damage on Liquid to get through. You're still working on Diffuser Blade for Miracle. That's not there, and life gets even harder. A full Radiance is done. At least with the Necro, so I say harder for Newbee in the team fight to get every single hit. Yeah, middle of nowhere. And side. Executed.
He didn't know GH was there. He blinked into the side, and then GH saw him. He was like, wait, what? Cast kill his spells, got the kill from Matumba. Also Reaper kill, so 1 minute out of play.
I think GH stole Inflame's luck for finding everyone in the tree line.
I think Inflame had vision. That's like it's a bit of a different story when you're playing heroes like Puck and Bad Fighter. You can really see things. And I think Liquid are doing a good job in Miracle.
He needs vision of this. He's starting his spin. He won't have time. He can't TP out now. The Stampede, they're trying to close the distance so the extra face can come out. The Plague Ward going to block the retreat off the Juggernaut. He doesn't know it. That's why the movement path send him back towards the south. KP comes in to lend the extra stun, and Juggernaut will fall in the top lane. I don't know if Liquid can really get a rebuttal. They're pushing in the mid lane, so at least they get momentum.
Pretty rare mistake from Miracle. He seems to always have these TP things under control and he's playing Juggernaut, but that time he didn't have it in his inventory. Uses the spin, he's like, wait, I don't have a TP. Has to run to the side shot.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
It probably enables Newbee to, if not take this top tower, then at least force rotation and deal with their problems bottom.
The
Sanctity was dead for a minute.
The top tier tower has 451 HP. Like that's not worth the defense. And there's a siege catapult coming in as well. All they can look for is raise. Oh, wait.
Dire's top tower is gone. Just a cold fog left behind.
What was it? We were casting, okay, bottom lane. We might go back to that moment on top lane again. Out from Mooney. Nova being committed. GA starting his TP. You also have to end up cancelling that one. Necro wants to run away. The Lynch Chauncey going to bounce perfectly. GA has the stun. Moogie's BKB will also be expected to hold that lane. Was it LFY we were talking about, who were just so efficient with their usage of abilities? You never committed more than you had to. That was a heavy commitment from Newbee to put down the Mass Serpent Wards.
Yeah, I didn't really like their positioning very much on that play. They Yule up the Shaker and then they meleeed him so he could stun them, and that set up for the chain prompt. They also used the silence way too early on the death prompt, so a little bit of a misplay, forcing them to use the BKB of that Venom. PP was obviously completely fine with that hood, taking very minimal damage from the Lich ulti.
But this is what Newbee kind of need to tease out at the moment. You're 2 games down. They have been in a really dominant fashion. So we didn't really touch on it much. The fact that Newbee had to pick themselves up from such a defeat during the biggest match of their lives. It's the TI Grand Final.
I like the way Fly talked about it just logically. It's like, you need to win 3 games. You can win the first 3 games, you can win the last 3 games. It doesn't matter if you win 3 games. And if they need to lose 2 games to figure out what it is Liquid are so good at and how they need to draft against them, then those are losses you're willing to take. And I think those first 2 games for Newbee were really drafting experience. I don't think they misplayed horribly. I don't think they were like, oh, our coordination is so bad. They needed to learn how to play Dota against this Liquid team. And if this game is any indication, this is definitely the best chance they've high tempo push style with these heroes that can knock down objectives, and Liquid are more on the back foot.
Yeah, they are. So they need to get into the front lines. Their 4-man smoke will try and do this. Same time, Newbee will look to do the same kind of thing, but you didn't have the banner on face. You're grouping up with the rest of Newbee around Roshan, which is up, so if you do like a full exorcism of SDCC to ensure this Roshan goes down very, very quickly. As you mentioned, Faith, he went back to regenerate as well as pick up the Aghanim Scepter. Liquid, they are coming. But do they get here quick enough? The Plague Wards are down. Tarka staying outside the pit. They know that Liquid about to come from the south. The X is out already. Miracle spinning inside the pit. Roshan's down low. The back wall is nice. The Master was it down. Serpent. It's here. 3 down. The Newbee. They need to be able to find the BKB. They're moving to find the Miracle. Killing off Roshan. Taking the Agency more. The Master wants to assist. Touches the heart. Even the side. Heavy damage into Moogie. On the retreat. The Burrow Strike not hitting the money. Kaka has to retreat back out again. The Plague War's making it difficult for Liquid just to get out of this top 3. But down the Diffuser Blade out from Miracle. Catching up Newbee. Ending the dominating streak. And the big advantage that Newbee had just disappeared.
It's a beautiful combo here from between Darkseer and the Earthshaker. So look at how GH backs off to the bottom right. Mind Control runs and gets a 2-man back wall. And Shaker Fissure into Blink Echo here. And Kaka can't really get in. from the right-hand side. He was getting his blink cancelled by the Radiance of Matumba Man you see walking in. So this whole team fight for Newbee just didn't work out. I think the problem for them is that they didn't have the right heroes in the right position to break the smoke. Shadow Shaman was in an awkward spot.
Oh, that is not a good facial expression.
KP was not ready. They needed to have a better spread around the pit with Centaur to the, I think, to the bottom and the Sanking to the top right, so that the two assault angles from Liquid would get countered by heroes with blinks. And instead Liquid just got an opening, got in and just ran in for it. Nobody stopped the Darkseer.
That prepared position I was talking about doesn't exist when the Venomancer is still down or having to fight back when the push arrives. Miracle with the Aegis Immortal does the first bit of damage to the Newbee base, feeding into the tier 3 tower. KP's watching him, and they're looking. They get the Hex over on GH, but the Spaces gets caught out. Trying to look for his own Hex, but Mental out. KP looking for the hostile, but GH is pinned up, trying the money. Kaka coming in, looking for any kind of stuns that make it so Liquid have overcommitted. Run a base up onto the Necrophos. You've lost your Shadow Shaman, but Venomancer back to all the living. Nova's available too. Miracle, you can bleed him out, but remember he's still got the secondary life. The Forest Strike, they're just trying to chip away at him. That tier 3 tower, it's going, it's going, it's gone. Miracle will grab it. The spin, he wants to back out now, but no magic community. It's too risky to stick around, but they got what they wanted. Tier 3 tower down. The shrines are now opened up, unless Liquid. Do they want to? Do you have Blink Echo Slam? They could just reinsert. And that is exactly what they're looking for.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Got the ward down.
Oh, get away from there, KP. Mind control. He doesn't have vision on the high ground, on just the fact.
They're beating on Dire's
They
top
lost their
tower.
ward, trying to back it down.
Yeah, they saw the vacuum with their Plague Wards. Liquid are going to back out. So we were talking tradition earlier, at least the panel, where this is the year that China won the last series. It generally alternates. That's one of the things we always have. We've never had a repeat champion in Newbee, but if Liquid win this game, we will have one tradition broken. There's never been a 3-0 in the finals. It's always been 3-1 or 3-2, and Liquid right now could make a little bit of extra history, if you will, by being the first team to get that clean sweep. It's actually a bit crazy when you think about it. It's been 6 previous TIs and never a clean sweep 3-0. You would think it would happen once. This could very well be the year. With that last team fight from Liquid, they put themselves in a very good position.
And even the TI4 finals went 3-1, and that's a bit.
There was 3-1 at every TI except TI3.
Yeah, when it went to the full 5.
That was the only 5 games that we've had.
Alliance is the only time we actually went to 5 at TI.
Yeah.
And it took until Kiev for a repeat at a Valve event at the Major for us also to go to 5, which was the VP match.
Has there even been a 3-0 in a Major final? It might have been once. I'm not sure about that.
We can leave that to the boys who love to post up stats. For now, Team Liquid, all they want to do is be crowned champions. And they are working their way towards it. The top 2 networks now belong to the Juggernaut as well as the Necrolite. And Newbee, it's a huge ask. They have to defend, and they know they've lost control of this game. The goal graph has swung by about 10,000 in favor of Team Liquid. Not to mention the experience graph racking up about 12k to 13k movement. This is a hard ask. At least Newbee have Plague Wards up from Moogie this time around. They'll have the defense.
Is that a full butterfly? Oh, he has a full butterfly trigger. That's like the perfect timing for this push as well. He has another 40 seconds on the Aegis, so he's just going to run in and start hitting.
The perfect timing to watch that Aegis Immortal. If we hit 33-30, you know the Aegis will be timing out pretty shortly, but Miracle makes the most of that 30 seconds. Feeding into the tower, KP with the home stomp. They have an extra silence. Juggernaut, can't damage. The fortification doing its work. That's the secure assignment. Kaka, Forest Strike, can they wait that a little bit longer? Another 20 seconds, so that Aegis is probably gone, but Team Liquid, once again, they go up, they take the tower, and they're looking to come back in once more. Watch that Aegis of the Immortal. They jump in, the ball from KP. He's still there for the back. Epicenter is doing his work. The Juggernaut, he's dying. The Aegis Immortal, the time down. Miracle's gone. The cycle get a revenge. KP will fall. Kura tries to end the trees, but the exit from SCC. They're adding the damage output to do it. 3 heroes gone from Team Liquid. I want a counter on that Aegis. It had to be half of a second in the timing of the expiration date. And then food poisoning for Liquid.
Invisibility.
Don't eat off food, bro.
All right. Well,
Taka.
I was wondering when Liquid went for this play to push bottom if they could have just taken mid racks. You know, that I was thinking, okay, here comes the butterfly. Well, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, here's the fight. So KP gets the double stun. Kaka brings in a huge amount of damage, but it's SCC that could just stand in the middle of the fight, and there's that timing. The Juggernaut.
It must have been within a second. We saw him have it, then the click was over on the Necro, and he died with the Aegis.
You heard the sound go off at the same time as the Juggernaut died.
Yeah.
That's what made it so damn
That's
close.
timing.
Yep.
Timing for you.
I'm wondering if Newbee had the counter in their mind. If they did, that was pinpoint accuracy, and Miracle could scratch his head and go, you know what, why me? Why me? But this is what Newbee needed. They can turn the graph around, the experience picks back up. That was a very good fight for them. The gold doesn't swing anywhere near as much.
It's not
but they
updated.
hold their high ground and they keep Liquid.
Yeah. And Veno is going to close in on level 25, which could make their base defense a lot easier. Probably going to get that triple Plague Ward HP damage talent.
It's what everyone does.
Make it a lot harder for Liquid to siege high ground. Now, the one thing going for Liquid still, even though that fight went wrong, they obviously took the 2 tier 3 so they could get maybe the secondary shrine and set up a Roshan at some point soon. They will want that next Aegis before they go high ground. And I think with this first Aegis, they should have probably taken the mid-racks. I'm pretty sure Newbee could not have contested it. You get the wave bottom to reach the towers, the back doors off, and then you won't get it. Liquid tried to maybe get a little bit too much in that one play.
They tried to win TI in one play.
It's still not a disaster for them. They're still in a good position this game. We're making it sound like Newbee are fully just full on back in the game. I still think Newbee have backs against the wall. You know, map control wise, it's looking tricky for them. Liquid still have that incredible team fight combination that we've just seen win games time and time again.
Bush is coming in on bottom lane.
Something's exciting.
We're looking at here. Yep. That's what it's about. What you want to look at is Newbee in just a second. They're grouping up, ready for a smoke tank. They have a fresh gem of True Sight given over to Kaka. Also want to point out the fact that Kaka's been as fast as he can. He's still 900 short of the Aghanim Scepter, so you can look towards the buybacks of Newbee. And currently, only the Death Prophet has buyback available. But Liquid, they want to fight. Their 5 fans smoked up, moving towards Newbee. But Newbee are home. They definitely fights on.
This is still going to allow Liquid to get wards out if they have any. They do have 2 wards on Kuro. So if this smoke, quote-unquote, fails, they get map control ready to go. This is a good smoke. Like, sometimes you don't find kills, but if you get the map control, more than good enough. Oh.
GH, he doesn't know.
Close call.
To be honest, I thought GH was able to smell out the armadillo that was running right behind KP, but now it's Newbee, who will group up themselves. They'll sentry ward down. They see the fact there's an observer and sentry on the hill, so SCC will break his own smoke. And Liquid, a 5-on-5 fight looks to be what's brewing on the top lane. They have their own defensive observer wall where the shrine used to be. SCC is the man on the front lines, but it's KP with fresh Solar Crest and Pipe of Insight. They need to trigger these off perfectly in order to find the opening. Kaka, yeah, that ain't real, man. No matter how much it is being microed, there's not something, at least there's no chronosphere to commit. Never forget. Let's roar a ball.
So, 1 minute for Roach. Liquid are sitting on this high ground. They're probably not going to move, because why would they? They could just stay in this area.
I'll take that as tribute.
Newbee's trying to make the most out of it. The observer ward saw the courier still floating around inside the dire jungle. So Kaka can go to bottom, get some momentum, get some farm in. He needs that Aghanim Scepter up.
I think, so what Liquid are thinking here is, we have good vision up here. I thought they were going to stay in this area, but they want to push one more wave out mid and check the road. In any situation, you would see that the team with the high ground vision stay there with like 4 heroes, instead 1 hero scouting into that roach pit. But it was simple as this mid wave that they wanted to take care of. Now that that's done, there's not going to get back in head.
Your Scepter, not dropping back down against your Scepter hit. Kaka connects on his stun, ball from KP, but mind control drags them back in ultimately into the fight. KP, he's got no way out, no stampede available. 2 heroes lost from Newbee. Liquid have opened the window.
This is at the very minimum back force. Maybe they will even get the tier 3.
They don't have those upgraded boards yet from Newbee, so the defense is nowhere near as strong. Yeah, the buyback from SCCC is used. There is no buybacks available from Newbee. So even contesting around Roshan is a dangerous thing. If that fight goes haywire, Team Liquid will be crowned champions.
Yeah. They're going to push out mid, same logic again, sending in Miracle here. They have a couple of Radiant solutions with 15 seconds on them, so they're going to shove out this wave and go into this Roche pit that they are 100% sure has spawned, because I think they're close to maximum spawn timer. Will never hesitate though. They're showing a lot of respect to Newbee, who will be 4 on 5 without their Centaur and even a Shrine to TP on. But
And they don't have Stampede for 15 seconds, but it's a bait. Like, the scan has come in from Radiant, now it hasn't flagged red. But Liquid have gone back to just keep farming up in the jungle. Are they waiting for a critical item? There is something coming on the courier. It's the full BKB from Miracle. That's what's coming. That's what's going to give Liquid the surprise advantage of the next team fight.
they're going to send in the Juggernaut. His Playboards are still not triple. So close to 25 from Newbee, but might come in just a little bit too late.
Someone give the defense some space. He needs it. Even Shaman was coming to help him just push out the wave. But you are right, without those upgraded Plague Wards, without Liquid having to fight through basically attack towers,
Go for me.
they are still the superior ones coming into the team fight at the moment. SDCC does have a little bit more life to work with. Now he's got that plus 10 armor from the plate mount. So trying to at least survive the damage. Miracle, in fact, he's also got that diffuser blade now upgraded to his second level. So much to work with. Buyback is available for the Venomancer and Centaur, plus the ES and the Necro. So both sides having 2 buybacks for this fight, while Mookie litters the field with Plague Wards. And he has the upgrade now, so he has the plus, the 3 times Plague Ward HP and damage available.
Liquid will get the information they're waiting for. Their bottom wave is pushing so hard that Newbee has to send a hero back to defend. It's going to be the Centaur, and I think this will make Liquid move up. I've seen Matulaman immediately moving into the river, starting to try to deal with Plague Wards. Yeah, that's great fun.
Yeah, this is going to happen.
They're managing that.
Mookie can just camp the mid laning. He leaves a couple of Plague Wards in the mid, but that's why GH looks for his opportunity. Coming under the cover of Shadowblade, ventures across the river, getting his feet wet.
Can't really see an opening there.
Yep.
They just want some... see, that is the problem that Liquid's lineup has, right? They don't have that vision. They don't have any way of scouting except planting wards, so they can't really set up their amazing team fight unless they know exactly where the enemy team is.
So
that's what was presented.
Is it a never-ending standoff because of this?
I think Liquid could, once again, just try to push out bottom, close reaction, or they could... Oh, close call, but Kaka gets out. So... Liquid can try to force in bottom. Since there's no tier 3 tower, these barracks have to be defended, but currently the momentum is going the way of Newbee.
He's got the Gem of True Sight. They're trying to get rid of the Observer Ward they saw on the other side of the hill, so the Plague Lord does it in 2 shots. Team Liquid, this is not something they want to lose, so they've got a 4-man smoke up. Miracle just used his spin. This feels so much like bait. Boogie feels it too. Scaling into Miracle. They're not committing too heavily in with the Venomancer, but he has that BKB. The reaction point was all about Miracle. The fire strike from Taka. Middle connect, all on a fifth from KB. Big hit the son of the mountain towards the middle of the field. Miracle, the echo is not there from Giant and the Aussie side. And now they're down for 2 minutes with the side. SDC is gone for 2 minutes. The list came from
Double kill.
Liquid. They have taken down
Triple kill.
He won't even die for this. Liquid lose nothing but take everything from Newbee.
That was so close. Miracle with 5% HP got off that Omni Slash, and it turned the entire fight. GH waited as long as he could on that bait to come in with the Echo Slam that broke the shackles and let Miracle get his spell off. Liquid, man, that looks so scary. It really looks like Miracle will die, and if he falls there, it's a different story. I don't even think he had buyback on the Juggernaut at this moment. Got a lot of gold from the fight, they'll take the road, and they're gonna more than likely just get down mid. They have 10 seconds on healing wards, so Miracle will be up to 8 again.
They can just do the same for previous, put Miracle on the front lines. Let's have a look at that moment once more. So
he
Miracle,
wants this DD.
he does.
Instant stun, blink away, connect again. Now they're gonna shackle him home. So here are the shackles. Miracle coming. So there's the Echo Manta on me. Just barely getting bailed out by GH.
And with that double damage upgrade, it's too much. And here comes Liquid into the melee ranks on mid. Still no death profit for 40 seconds. Liquid doing severe damage to Newbee home. They'll rotate towards the bottom. The tier 3 towers. That was the improved work for Liquid. Now they follow through. A nice barrier strike on the 2. They need more players, they need more defense, but Miracle doesn't give two hoots. Just keep beating through the building. Fortifications there to protect the Rage Reactor, buy time for Death Prophet to come back alive again. When he's up, he still won't have Nexus. He'll be on cooldown for another 38 seconds. Miracle, a quick pushback. That's the Hurricane Pike going to work. The Tupperman sticking with it. Team Liquid, they're going to make the play for Megas. Death Prophet, 5 seconds until she's up. The Holstone, once again, into the Necro. Bounce up one. They've got really good range for that Agnium's upgrade, so they can defend inside the base. Liquid can also wait this out to Shackles. It holds Miracle. They just keep chaining him across the universe. They hold him. Kaka wants to come out for more, but be careful. GH has Blink Echo Slam up and running.
In the back, Liquid are so close. Just one more good fight. They know there can't be buybacks on Newbee's lineup. They must have done so much economical damage that any big kill.
Here comes the Echo Slam. Was it going to be enough or not? Necro control. There's a nice oldie from Boogie. Maybe the regeneration's enough. Miracle. The ABC mod will pop face. Able to shackle him forever. Holding him. Out they come once more. No next, no instant unavailable. Holding him on from Boogie.
Double kill.
Double kill for him. Defuse the fight. MCCC. Monsanto controls the back line. The exit of it needs to do some damage, but right now Newbee dropping like flies. And DG is done. Liquid will be the first team in the history of the International to whitewash the grand final. 3-0 victory.
I'm fine with waiting more, but let's go. Reading Top Eric's dire win.
Absolutely fantastic over the last few days. Liquid, they were so close to elimination like 2 or 3 times in a row, and every single time they overcame it. Today they just looked like just flat out the best team in the world. This series, it's not only a 3-0, it was pretty convincing wins for the most part. Just a clearly better team. Big congratulations.
You thought the run could have been over.